and the other mother Foucaulters. We've got 40 minutes, so I'm going to set my phone timer in a second. It's going to be really tight, so to keep it tight, no clapping. You might not even feel the need to clap. So all these people up here are multimedia artists. We're doing a relay reading where we each have a bunch of short little bits. We're going to read them in alphabetical order of last names. I'll let everyone say their name, and then I'll start, and it is called Artists Reading Writing. My name is Christopher Adams.
Quinn Gancedo.
Molly Herro. Phoebe Mall.
Erin Tanner.
Suzy Valentine.
Spencer Winans.
Alice Yobby.
I'll do 39 minutes for you, Craig. All right.
We all gotta make sacrifices.
No, wait, here we go, all right. An easy bake oven firehouse, except between emergencies, they look at porn and play horse. On a table, a pile of crackers like plain Wild West coffins, ready to go. I feel like a child prodigy screenwriter. My head hairs trajectories of bullet casings of thought as my mouth fires off quips, zingers, sick burns. God put the sun in a funicular, too late to scare him off. Archetypal mansions explode, and placed all over the city, owl decoys as thumbs in acid rain.
The boy next door is always diving in and out of holes. Big holes, small holes, window holes, rabbit holes, keyholes, mouse holes, door holes, assholes, manholes, socket holes, mouth holes, peepholes, sinkholes, leg holes, glory holes, and black holes. He moves like water or like a greasy dog that loves to run. I look out through the holes of my binoculars and am reminded that the task of the writer, to sing in a language free of holes, is thankless. Regardless, I am building a body of work. So many days when I chew my pencil to shreds, hide for hours under the bed, and forget to change my underwear. On those days, I could take my sharpest pencil and poke the neighbor boy full of holes. The fact is that you wind up as one of two ducks. The boy next door is the duck of nature, bobbing anywhere and everywhere, chasing the sou'wester, plunging through every hollow and honking like a truck. The second duck is a cartoon duck who bellows in a rowboat full of holes. He is the yellow duck of panic. Consider his labor. Watch as he sticks his courageous little finger in one hole, and another disastrous fountain of mean blue lake bursts forth from the most unlikely place. Watch him try again. If you feel the urge to laugh, you can guess what sort of duck you are. I am that other duck.
A comic is something I like to read in the day and the night. But I'm not a nerd, despite what you've heard. If you say it again, then we'll fight. Loving the Witch. Can I tell you what I remember about her? She lives deep in my memory. I'm going there. She walked like a tuning fork, tonal, vibrating everything she touched. She had a body like a crustacean, a body like a lobster. I wanted to cook her alive. She wasn't mine, she wasn't anyone's. Cliches like that found new meaning when she wore them. What I mean by this is, she writes in her own phonetic language. What I mean by this is, she sees God's rays in every empty sky. She steeped her tea in the rot of cold vegetables. She kissed tooth first.
Wagon wheel 2. Rock me, mama, like a peace sign-shaped wagon wheel macaroni. Rock me, mama, within the restrictions of the peace sign-shaped wagon wheel macaroni corporation copyright.
Poem for the days. The 8 o'clock bus is unfeeling as the sky is. Filtering the echelons in Portland, Oregon don't say hi. People, the matter that takes up space, mark their territory of the mind as property, and children now dream of mansions, as there's more that they cannot have. 10,000 machines versus the heart, both mundane and their grotesque Belmerification of desire, informed by the other as sacrificial data. Red means dead and resting, so see the sex of the sun and its unmeasurable volumes. Hounded by good advice from a two-headed envy, I know which tells lies, but not which tells the truth, respectively. We are so back, and it is so over.
The dog days of summer. When the second giant roll of fine Belgian linen arrived on the front porch, I was disappointed. This was not the plan. The plan was to stop after finishing the ones I'd been working on for over a year. Now I'd have to find another excuse. What it looks like to be there on the canvas versus what it actually is there on the canvas, this is the dimension I work in, a parallel universe sandwiched between reality and perception. The final answer, a big fat question mark. Eat that. You can do anything you want with it, that's the thing. A problem I run into often is making areas that cannot be touched on paintings, areas so precious and that I love so much that I leave large swaths of dog shit surrounding it. I just can't be bothered. I continue like this. It's everything else around that gorgeous little area that I was able to figure out that needs painting around, to finish and to make as good as the brilliant bit I love so much, be it the bottom half, middle, or top, wherever it is.
Sonnet. The mannequin in its snakeskin shoe, buying the time of foot traffic, bungled in steps, pouting in tongues, marred by intermediary castrations of the curd-like spores precipitated by the city, called a heart, when isolated, this new type of plastic in the shape of a man, replacing gender with incomprehensible, macerated correspondences, all symbols extracted until the dancers are forced to trade their spines in for their foot.
Okay with danger. I let my mind fuse the wrong thing. The number 101 looks like a place setting. Fork, plate, knife. Listen to food acoustics. The skull is amplifier. At an advanced age, you shit your pants and sit on a hamburger saddle. No more horizon. In a windowless room, you are an organ in a body. I think Alzheimer's is the Buddhist ideal. I don't want that. I want time to eat me alive. Little vaudeville.
When you ask me how I've been, I will tell you that lately there's an off-putting stranger who follows me everywhere. He keeps stepping on the back of my shoe, which causes my heel to slip out. When my heel slips out from the back of my shoe, I stumble, and when I stumble, I feel like a fool. I keep tightening my laces, but the stranger is some kind of maestro when it comes to the prank with the back of the shoe. My heel slips out, I stumble, and I think I'm beginning to fall in love with him.
A comic book is a good thing. When I read one, I feel like a king. I don't need a toy, because I've got this pure joy that only a comic book brings. The garden is a soft animal that sheds. The mushrooms become soft, waterlogged. Everything falls to the ground to rot. There's the tunnel that just turned 100. Happy birthday. There's the woman with a leaf in her hair. There's Mira telling me about two men holding hands just because of friendship. I keep catching sight of them, goat-sighted in my periphery, just because of friendship. You can't just decide every man you've ever dated is spiritually a woman. Wait, why? My heart went crazy how they looked at each other on that couch. Maybe I should begin interrogating my intentions, or maybe I should stop. This thing inside me that flutters, I have to try and have a better life for it. Listening to your voice and only your voice. Talking quietly with you, that's respectful, all right? I hope you see me more like a friend than a realtor, even though I radiate utility. I want to show you everything I write, in the same way I want to be naked with all my coworkers, as a joke.
Poem psychosis. Sometimes I wish I could write a poem that sends the reader into some kind of poem psychosis. I don't do rhymes or haiku since the Secretary of Health has introduced the haiku mania and rhymes disease vaccines. Under the spell of poem psychosis, everything would appear to be poetry and worthy of a poem. The mind would break down, overloaded with beauty. Inanimate objects would recite wonderful poems.
Life does not live, after Theodore Adorno. The concept of crazy or playing the elements with death at the nape of the neck. Grabbed by that deafening, lonely, watching in indignation at less birds than before. I keep my right eye on the con of crypto-fascists, determining minor concept, i.e. God, contemptuously to prove the existence of war. Evading honest motion as I live outside the world of the money thing. Urgent alchemy presses my front door, weeps the schizoid for the crime of being.
But no, what is the subconscious telling me? It's telling me I love this area so much because the rest of it sucks. The only way out is looking again, viewing the whole, viewing it holistically. This is why I love making paintings. It's all right there. There's no combing through pages, losing my spot, or conforming to grammar or some linguistic convention. To continue is to do the entire thing as one should, cohesively. A painting must have the action or fact of forming a united whole. It is by definition that. All you need to do is make a single mark and you set the entire thing in motion. A small line, a scribble, a spider crawling across it if you want to get conceptual, or 10 gallons of dried oil paint. Whatever it is on this square, to hang on the wall, to lean on the wall, or to take it off its bars and roll it up, all of it, no matter what it is forming an action or fact within a united whole on our precious linen canvas. Otherwise, what is it in the painting? Some bullshit in the corner, kind of looks like shoes maybe, flanked by what otherwise exposes a single man's shortcomings. No, it's unfinished.
All the popular songs say there is somewhere to hide. Oh, call my name, so call my name. I'm looking for something and you know where it is. Your mood will be terrible and will all be my fault. Or you will feel fabulous. Kick off your shoes, we'll embrace and fall in gowns. Or play with costumes and heavy perfumes, perform our secrets, make with our bodies shapes and tricky colors. I can find you, and that's incredibly beautiful, stunning, unique, and fucking hot. We'll sit silently, clean bread in dirty houses, sleep in stains and talk in mornings. I'm replying late and haven't seen you in ages, but thanks for all the money. Tonight happened to me like a question, predictable and without answers. I'm sitting upright, just so you know. I drank a gallon of water. I promise, and when have I lied to you? Never. Sometimes I wonder if I'm killing you, since we are easily poisoned. Impossible time when empty. I fill it with glass, and the glass breaks, and we move the rug so it's clean. The rug for feet with fish on it, and nothing ever gets done. I should go, shouldn't I? But I stay and we eat the leftovers.
Imagine a literal Bronze Age film studio, or objects made on your actual birthday and their parallel histories. Everybody starts lady parts until a little cock drops down like landing gear. Models hit the runway, toggle and ogle at lunch. The bottle reads High Omega Ranch. Swallow a meal and the throat, esophagus, etc. muscles advance the food down like an inside-out snake going forward.
In my corner of the world, there is a restaurant called Hard Bodies, where the young staff are forbidden from mingling in the real world. Questions of legality are moot, as this particular restaurant is entirely lawyered up. I think the management fears that a post-coital atmosphere might detract from the sight of their employees' coiled, ripped forms bearing hamburgers across the room. This logic, and really the logic of all food, is tantric. What they want is this: for all of us to take a seat in one of their vinyl booths and invent gossip, drum up an appetite, and imagine the innumerable possibilities of bodies coming together and apart. I'd like to eat there one day.
When you say that, it makes me appalled. 'Cause through muck and through mire I've crawled. I'll fight for these things, they're the virtues I'll sing. A picture book's not what it's called. 3 ways to prove you're not a ghost. 1. You often felt so alone in the sea. Swimming back to shore was the only way to survive. Now, look down, use a dog's eye as a mirror. You're right here, on land, with a dog. 2. Laugh while recalling the texture of your childhood. Now, do something tantric to a pile of dirt. Let yourself be brought back into form. A dirt pile makes dust inherently. You can be the form and it's imaginative. 3. Over time, adaptations became instinct. Now, imagine into your center, a purple flower. Bring it back inside you. Bring it back inside.
Dao De Ching 2. Trading divination coins on the Karma Stock Exchange. A trick coin on a string into the vending machine of reincarnation brings me back into the cycle of life and death. How will I use my one precious wild many lives trick? Scamming the pinball machines and Street Fighter II arcade cabinet, hoping the string won't break.
Here I am in luxury, weeping. Here there's always a parade of birds wanting to toss to you like candy their hypnotic song, and my head as it spins in a dance of its own, to cast a door toward knowing those secrets that twitch beyond the scope, behind the false magnet of the scalloped hedge. I do not know the timbre of the bird mind, so sung faster than word, but mimics us or them or nowhere named. Like the cloud of a shadow, the piercing inversion of the clock went backward, the twitting, barreling spit. What I wish to be encased in it, how matter should be, and sense of all things.
Delivery man. I wanted to kill myself this morning when I got to work. First thought was running the fully loaded van into oncoming traffic, full of wine, a head-on collision. Glass shattering, skull and bones obliterated, hood smashed in. Just a fucking nightmare of parts in a pool of rancid grape juice. But I was getting ahead of myself. I didn't want to kill anyone, even my coworkers. I couldn't blame them a lick. The cage, this is where the wine is kept. Behind lock and key, downstairs in the basement in a concrete warehouse below the commercial strip along Southeast Wark on the corner of 80th. Directly above you have Bangkok Tavern, and then next to that some cafe/pizza joint, Freddy's, and that game room where they play and sell magic cards and board games. It's supposed to be fun, actually, counting up all the cases they sold the day before, tallied up on the fold-out table in front of us, a long paper trail list of invoices, the script of my day. Go here, then go there. Then there, then there, then go over there. Just keep doing that every single week, 4 days a week for the rest of your life. Meanwhile, we're all just bros getting along, getting the orders ready, talking shit, yucking it up.
Sorry, I do feel you and your warm mouth waiting, slow breath worried. I'll stand but I lose my mind. And would take good news but can't find it, and I only pick the weeds, and ride the bus, and lend each other our seats. And I write, and you worry about cages. But I don't keep secrets, I don't. Instead, there are murderers, wonder to remember life, who ignore their plenty wars since it's so easy, life. Stepping quickly past bodies, simple, to wear their bodies, bodies stand periodically without questions, invisible and mistaken, simple dead bodies to buy their shoes. It's sad what God decided, but you can go ahead eating what you want and fucking. Meanwhile, we create the earth, and with our heads pray it gets done.
Snake skin colander shadow in double barrel sunrise, and an adobe mastiff. Chimney smoke in a draft spills down the roof like a ghost river, and on another house perfect rectangle of half roof of snow like a sheet of paper. Seen from inside, windows at night, slabs of marble, of obsidian. Objects possess an attitude or stance. The universe's collection of black holes is this world's true pantheon.
It seems that some tall man or other is always pointing to the sky and saying, "Look at that fucking eagle." I look, expecting to see an eagle that resembles mountains on a beer can, expecting to see the eagle of postage stamps and motorcycle flags, of mascots and paper money, but it is never that kind of eagle. Always it is the kind that resembles every other far-off bird. Wow, I said to the man, would you look at that? We parked in a bright clearing littered with broken bottles and bullet casings, and the tall man gingerly unwrapped his guns. He told me that his guns all have the same problem because he ordered them all from the same store. They're like the guns you've seen in cartoons, the kind that when triggered produce only a tiny fart of smoke and a small flag that reads bang, or boom, or the end. We took our shirts off and unloaded round after round into that wet green morning, but I couldn't hit a thing. It would be so simple to blame those ridiculous guns, but I promised you after the last time that I would tell the truth, even if it was ugly, even if it was painful, even if it made me feel like I was buck naked in a bright room surrounded by the meanest teens in San Francisco, having the frank and open conversation I'd been waiting my whole life to hear them have about my body. In truth, the problem I have with shooting is that I'm afraid to ask where to point.
A comic book is all I've got, and my dog all he's got is his spots. But we have all we want, and we walk with a jaunt to the castle we own in our thoughts.
I was a baby in a stucco house on the corner. Sometimes my body becomes the memory, skin stucco eclipsed, smelling like a printed photograph and how your finger squeaks across it. Any house can feel like a memory with too much in it. Oh, your prehistoric room smell. I sent you a package in the mail that hasn't been delivered yet. This is true in both dream and waking. It contains a pencil drawing on 2 small scraps of paper taped together, a butterfly finger puppet from the Seward Co-op, a striped knit balaclava, and a Ziploc bag, armpit and head hair specimen. This is true in both dream and waking. Only in the dream I call FedEx to ask why it hasn't been delivered. Friendly man tells me it's been taken in for inspection. It's nothing to worry about, it's common practice. It's easy to imagine a group of men in gloves opening a torn side of the box. It's a surgery or a birth, so they can't care too much about what's inside. They take out the labeled Ziploc and look at each other. Do they want to smell it, take out the tangled strands of my hair, to weave it between their fingers, put it on their head like it's their own? Telling you my dream made my voice come out all slippery. I feel a lot of tension when I think about this too hard. How we talked last night was wrestling. My body ricocheting from the padded corner of the ring, careening towards your body with momentum. Some things we say we mean and they mean everything. Some things we say are just fake punches, knees grinding into the mat, passing energy between us like crumbs on a plate.
How grape was my soda? How grape was my soda? How purple flavored was my drink? Inspiring yet heartbreaking, winner of 5 Academy Awards, including Best Pop, one of the fizziest, perfection in a can, with songs by the California Raisins. They've been telling me purple isn't real. Soon they'll be saying everything is grape soda.
It is the 1st of September. 2 faded egrets breast upon my tonal basket of sky for a moment, saving my life. Every so hour, the lonely mangled cat howls for sex. Same, I think.
By the time I've reached the cage in the basement, the owner has the invoices printed and arranged in order of delivery. He's counting, dropping his pointer finger firmly against the tabletop for each invoice representing a stop. Tap, 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 tap. It keeps going across the length of the table. Tap, 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 tap. 15, 20-minute intervals adding up the length of the day. Tap, 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 tap. So many grocery stores. I had been dreading this since getting home the day before. The hatred I feel for my circumstances is so visceral, there are no words to describe it. I can't believe this is my life. It's so fucking bad. I'm trapped. There's no way out. This is the best I can do, though. I like these guys. The wine business is chill. Restaurant people are my people. But no, I'm so fucked. I hate these high-end grocery stores. I don't even like booze anymore.
I may unfortunately be constructed by apologies, as if I ate the apple while the neighbors shrieked, "Please, do not forsake me." And the apple wasn't even yummy. It was a red delicious or some shit.
Clothing is technology. and a torn clear plastic bag with a knot in it, the ghost of a powdered wig. A near rhyme, a near fusing. My Mazda protege in Santa Fe. That one's perfect. And also it really happened. And also above the grassland of the brain, powdered wig clouds. The bad men spread west, as if they just had to levitate an inch and the earth will turn them there. A bit of levity now at the seance. The table has restless leg syndrome.
She was going through her old boxes and found a note authored by a former self she had already forgotten. It read, "Remember, don't become an asshole." And so the very next day, she went into the office wearing mismatched socks. Her left ankle was wrapped in hiker's wool, and on the right, she wore a tube of soft pink nylon. When the man from the cleaning service bent down to pick up her wastebasket, he glanced at her ankles, averted his eyes, and asked, "Laundry day?" She chuckled and shrugged. She tossed her hair in such a way. I stood on top of my desk with my binoculars and surveyed every inch of that office, but I couldn't find an asshole anywhere. My job is a very hard job, and it gets harder every day.
To comics I say, I love you, like roses red and violets blue. For you I'm no tourist, my passion's the purest. My love for you is nothing but true.
The elements make messes of each other, handling and handling. You handled me how the wind handled the beats on the trailer. I've handled you by the face and hair, handled you by the roots. I've seen potato beetles eat while mating. Your hair is a fuzzy halo around your head, a texture so incomprehensible it had to come from the sky. I want to link up with you in this Google Doc. I've been letting you unzip me. I've been unzipping for you. I'm pulling a 150-foot water-filled tube up a hill, resolving its tangles by finding its end, then twisting. Listen, up there, the crows are talking about it, too. Anything is a hose if you're strong enough physically and mentally. Well, I suppose you need water and a tube. Never mind.
The final Simpsons episode. I've just watched the final episode of The Simpsons. Now I'm crying bittersweet tears. A chain reaction of nuclear reactor meltdowns across the earth. Maggie Simpson is the last person alive, searching for any survivors, hiding from mutants and aliens. No one to talk to. Homer's sacrifice. Lisa's last words.
The Empire is taking me with it, or I exist to force silence. I will now write about tangible things, the earth and its fluids, how they ripen in my nose, transforming me into a cocktail. Cigarette makes a withdrawal, and obstreperous granite rock takes a bite of my littlest toe, and Dipper vanishes behind a silk curtain. The words are in the picture of it, that provisional blue light-dressed mossy halo, silver marbles trailing your splendid tail, acceptable food for other beings. I am tired of my American woes. Recoiling from the nascent glory of the ongoing chain, I did not consider the possibility of being rammed by devoted river goons. Practice for overdrafting on the cigarettes. Toothwort, I hear, on the volcano. Mint, she tells anyone. Sir, he says me. Black children emerge from the Pleistocene current like angels, cheering like they did a good deed by playing on God's face, and they did.
The coffee's still kicking. I have to calm down. Take it slow, I tell myself. Just chill. If I don't, I'm liable to break something. The bigger the business grows, the more stops I have, the more disconnected I feel, while their job, selling wine, becomes more and more profitable and comradely. I'd rather die than continue living like this. I think my problem is I like to have some paintings in process or unfinished. I always like to have some of those hanging around. I love that. The possibility they bring. If I don't have enough of them to work on at once, I won't work. I need more canvas. Oh, that's right, I have it. But I can't. I need to stop. I need to stop painting and get a full-time job. My life is in shambles. I'm broke. My partner hates me. I have no future. This is it. Just these unfinished paintings. That's it.
Sonnet during Satchidananda. The graces of crocuses like litter to suckle the unstuffed hair, gorging his viscera with curios of plastic, radios, matchbooks, saxophones, ledgers, wonders. Did you pull a mask up over your burrow? Ecstatic and wailing, kick boulders with your contacts? Escape the devices of fools in love? Compress the spectrum until it bleeds, blank pages from the firmament. Pollute my vision, dangle in underhooped hatred neatly above my decoction of feeble, pious, grandiose, sham karmic desire, which tastes of lime, smells of it too. And if not for you, I would have unheard all their names.
Styrofoam cooler castle in etched glass weather. I go over the blueprints in rain, sit atop a sackcloth horse, but all of this not really. I am making soul bologna instead. Instead, I look at the European retail package with its hanging tab portion in front, like a saloon or general store facade. Point of sale, point of life, point of no return. A street serves as a moat when there's a crazy person on the other side. The moon a movie screen, the sun no film in it.
At the beginning, I want to make it clear that the day began in good faith. In line at the coffee shop, resume in hand, my mind, which is an ordinary mind, which is to say a sly and intemperate pet, digressed, and before long I found myself hostage again to my appetite for little pinches. I stood there in knots, dreaming about giving a stiff little pinch, and at the same time about getting a stiff little pinch, until I remembered that I'm a person who needs reminding to see the forest through the trees. I stood on the mountain, and from there I could see the whole forest, and the forest told me that the important thing, the reason that I was standing in that coffee shop, was to tear myself open to the possibility that whatever everyday magic is sparked by a small bit of rump held tight between fingers might finally give me the answer to the question I'm always forgetting to ask. The rest of what you've heard is true, but you already knew that. It's true that I hopped on the Xerox machine and made a few hundred copies of my ass. And it is true that I fashioned a row of tear-off tags with my phone number to the bottom edge of each sheet. It is true that I spent the entire afternoon taping up flyers in every place I thought they might be received. The windows of skyscrapers, particularly winsome trees, caves behind waterfalls, the community board outside the food bank. And it is absolutely true that my phone rang so goddamn much I had to smash it to pieces, dig a hole, and bury it at the foot of the mountain, which brings me to the real question. Do any of you pious bureaucrats have a clue how it feels to gather enough spunk to get up each morning, to put on shoes, to walk down the street as a Labrador and pant in the big dumb twilight of history, all without a working telephone? It is like being a greased watermelon. It is like being the smallest rabbit in Alaska. It is quite like being a freckle on the most beautiful penis in the world. It is my own delicious secret, and I plan to keep it for a while.
God's favorite of all are cartoonists, and especially clever lampoonists. God loves one with wit, but he'll still take a twit. Draw a comic and heaven is soonest.
Twin story. It was so dark where we were before. Nothing but rhythm and sometimes a soft red light. This was before the idea of a me and a you. We were one thing together. There was only living, breathing, and dreaming shared dreams. We dreamed about what living might be like. We didn't know anything yet. We only knew the rhythm and the soft red light. We made a solemn pact, translucent eyelids shut in prayer, that we would start living at the same time. Then all at once I discovered the edges of myself. I felt them separate from yours, and I learned the feeling of absence. You were gone. In our tiny room, I was one thing with edges. My dreams were mine, alone. On Earth, you were waiting for me. You had fallen in love with living, discovering bugs and birthday cake. When it came time to join you on Earth, I was very afraid. At first, living hurt. The light was so bright and everything clattered. There are two soft, red eternities that stretch before and after living. Between them, we learned to grow our own food, heal each other's ailments with herbs, and dance. When nights came, we slept, and this reminded us of before. but on Earth we could never dream shared dreams. Our time alive was short and full of pleasure. When it was time to go back, we did something like falling asleep. It was easy to find our way back to the soft red room, like putting on an old sweater. And here we are one thing together again. There's only being, breathing, and dreaming shared dreams.
Screenshot of a relevant Popular Mechanics article. Popular Mechanics, August 25th, 2025. Your consciousness can jump through time, meaning gut feelings are memories from the future, scientists say. Even the CIA has publicly released data on the psychic phenomenon. Apple News Plus, unlock the story and more, $12.99 a month. Start reading.
Heresy of the law. I am late, always, never sleeping on time, never waking at the best hour, catching the bus on all fours and panting, spitting out my medicated toothpaste before the truncated shadows. It is spring now. I do not seethe to get to work faster. It is the ordinary obedient physiology I was born with. Living in this urbanized body and whisked by it, my back is blinded, buckles, subject to the many lumens used to identify the shape of my misdeeds. Meanwhile, the eye of Providence scopes that which is not there, like the life I stole and the parties I tricked and the property I ransacked and the drugs I trafficked, too. Every man should have a place to go, but she cannot bear to stand it. The apparatus of discontent, the spikes on the birthing bed, how dirt beget breath, beget hunger, and torture beget law. So she is whined to death by cause of her own imprudence, and I will be selling pussy in the marketplace, reviled by feminist thought, even though filming my big fat ass sitting on some cakes was there the whole time.
Finishing is idealizing. I don't want that to be my last thought. Some lame, half-baked idea, or whatever it is, what I'm feeling, what it should be, whatever it means, whatever explains it, to hell with all that. To hell with all these finished paintings. What a bunch of nonsense bullshit. Is there such a thing as a finishing without idealizing? Is that possible? Of course it is. There's no way around it. It has to be this way. Is that too far out? Of course not. It's the only way. That's just what they want you to think, that you have to make it into something they can wrap their grubby mitts around and squeeze the life out of. The same people who also hate their jobs in this godforsaken wasteland of meaningless work. Is it stupid? Yes, it's stupid. It's dumb as hell. The result? They'll hate you. Rothko is a loser who made stupid shit for rich assholes to think they feel something where otherwise nothing exists but a dark pit of selfish desire. I won't finish them. I'll stay this way forever.
She gave me mono, lips fiery and fried like baked basil, living off butter we grabbed from where, again? How's living? When we're never here, and they eat all our butter and abandon their rabbits who we feed our butter and grass. Dead plants that grew dead plants. Dead plants are we, slow dead trees, passing out ticky-tacky. We so particular about putty, left with nothing from our nun selves, shaking on the highway, eat, live, and gotten clean. Each sun a new proud shower potential, and also a song to sing. Digestible sun, oh the things we crave. No advertisements, that's heaven. Our lives are such small profits and rooms, and of grueling excitement, and of new names and basil, and dead trees, and rockets, and our necks taking off, way up and off and away, and being hit by blunt things each and every time.
All right, we got 1 minute, so I'm going to say that's it.
Thank you, guys.
On time and under budget. And then one quick little announcement. Craig had said it was okay to sell books and stuff. I don't know who has books, whatever. You know what we look like. We have some books, or we'll settle up front with the counter, whatever. You're wearing a silver coat. So.
I want to say something about Palestine, too.
I already did.
All right, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're 7 days.